Good night, good night. Welcome to another episode of, Trinbago Vibes, Sunday Vibes Live, episode 80. It is September. Wow, it's been a while since I've done a Sunday Vibes Live, in the studio. And going back to June, I should say, I realized I've done one once a month. So, not bad, actually. I kind of on track for that. It's been a long week for me. It's even hot weekend, you know. So anybody joining in now, thank you so much for the support. Vitamins, yeah. So I'm not sure when Sunday Vibes Live would happen, but it would appear to be the more or less second Sunday in the month. And oh, Angela, good night, good night. So yeah, it'll be the second Sunday in the month, and I think I'll do that. So at least try at least here inside. If you hear the sniffles, it's like, yeah, my sinus acting up, and I was having two minds are coming on to do this live. But I say, you know what? I want to give some updates on what's happening with the channel for this month, what happened last month a little bit, what happened yesterday, and yeah. Oh, Naeem, good night, good night. Yeah. It was well, I could jump into that since he mentioned Trinity Sofa vlog. So I was actually that was Independence Day. Now, of course, they canceled the Independence Day parade, and I had all means to go and live stream it. I mean, we have been doing that for the past 2 years. So in case you want to see what the whole thing about with the parade on the streets, you can check out the live stream either in 2023 or last year. Last year, it wasn't as prolific as the year before. 2023 was, I find, was where it had the water, that was the fire services water trucks that was spraying water and things, so it was much more fun. Last year didn't really have that, so you can check that out. But yeah, so Independence Day, there were a few things happening that day that I wanted to go and capture. One of the things was Invaders had a breakfast line. Invaders Steel Orchestra, right here on SHAQ Road in Port of Spain, and that was in the morning. But yeah, I didn't get up in time, and the next thing I wanted to capture would have been Mango Melee, right? So I actually was organizing to go out on Mango Melee, and at that point in time, Alan messaged me, Trini Surfer, and he's like, "Whoa, bro, now." Up till last year, we have been back and forth trying to do some collabs, and the timing didn't work out. This year, however, I'm looking forward to doing a collab with Trini Sofa, so there's up and coming one. So we was just messaging, and he was asking me if there's any event he know that happening on Independence Day that I could go out and capture, because I'd be more up to date with what's going on here in Trinidad and Tobago kind of vibes. So I was like, I end up asking him, you ever heard of Mango Melee? And he's like, no, what's that about? And I told him about the event, what is happening, and I tell him, come across, it'll be nice for you to vlog that experience and to experience the innovation of people and how they take mango and make a lot of different things with it. Now, I went and live stream it, and the footage was shaky because if you're following the channel, for pan and powder, like powder got into the motors of my gimbal. I have a gimbal that I use when I'm going out there to live stream. It's keep the phone steady, right? So I have end up getting a used phone, a Samsung S21, and I have my iPhone, which I've been using before, but I just find the S21 does better in low light, and most times when you're out there in the night, there's just be proper viewing if I using the Samsung, yeah, as compared to the iPhone. I mean, probably when I eventually upgrade these phones, it'll be better, and I'm not sure when that will happen, but once the phones are upgraded, the quality will improve. I know some people would have complained about the stream like buffering too much, and I have no control over that. I'll have to see if what Beam Mobile has, because that is the package I have, that is the service provider that I use, Be Mobile. So if they give in trouble, I can't help what is happening on the stream, right? Because live streaming out in public, when everybody around live streaming or using the internet, apparently the data is kind of shrink a little bit. So that would cause the buffering. When there isn't much people using the internet around you, it doesn't be as bad. I have to see, I have to explore dedicated packages, in a sense, dedicated data packages. So that's an option I will probably look into more closer to Carnival, you know. But yeah, so anyway, I end up telling them about Mango Melee and them come across. So I was across there. I know I was gonna live stream it because yeah, good night. Because my thing is, once I've covered something, like vlog it. And when I mean vlog it, I would have gone with my normal camera and recorded it and edit it and put it up there. The next time I'm having it, I may not vlog it again. I just prefer to live stream it. Uh, it's tend to me, it would be better live streaming it in a sense. Now the downside with live streaming is that there's no breaks, right? And so if you were tuned in for the Mango Melee, and by the way, shout out the people who saw the live stream and end up at the Center of Excellence because of the stream. I met a few of you all at the event itself at Mango Melee at Center of Excellence. So shout out you all. Thank you so much. It's always been nice to hear that sometimes doing these things would encourage people to pass through to check it out. And to those of you who passed through and had a good time, I ain't gonna stay all the wrong with these things. So yeah, big up yourselves. But in any event, end up telling Trini Sofa about it, and when he came across it's like, hey bro, and that's how I was able to be in the Mango Melee video that he did. So yes, I will take credit for introducing him to that, and hopefully it reach a greater crowd to that scene there. So that was the story for the Mango Melee and Trini Sofa, as Naeem brought up. And yeah, so are we going along these terms, right? So again, in September is coming down to the end of the year, and we have a few things I want to cover, and I just want to chat about in this live going forward. So Independence Day again, right? So my plan was to live stream the Invaders, then live stream the Mango Melee, and then that night had Pan on the Avenue, right? Again, I was supposed to link up with next vlogger Aubrey Roy, and the only thing I was able to do on that day was Mango Melee. I was organizing the crowd for the Pan on the Avenue, which I saw was real vibes, but a family matter came up and I couldn't make it. It's like last minute I had to, sort that out. So that's why I wasn't there for Pan on the Avenue. Although if you were following the streams, you would have seen I was talking about it. So I hope you all tune into the other live streamers, Radical Tube, Gatsy and stuff. Not sure if I Am Living My Life or was there as well. And whoever else you all follow, people would have covered. Pan Trinbago, I think, covered, and the Woodbrook community covered it as well. I didn't even realize the Woodbrook community had a high production live stream until I was rewatching it, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. So go figure. So those were some of the events that happened. Now that was last weekend, right? So that was because that was Independence Day weekend. The Saturday. Now yesterday's video, right? I dropped the Krishna Janmashtami is a festival celebrated here by those who follow the Hindu faith, and I know the Hare Krishna people have a big celebrations on it, so I wanted to cover that, and I had plans to drop that last weekend since the Prime Minister called for prayer and reflection. Yes, we are quite aware that they did have NCIC on Independence Day had a interreligious event, and apparently none of our ministers showed up or opposition. Yeah, so yeah, what you gonna do? That's just how it is. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of things happening in the country, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Let me go back to the last weekend. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to drop that video that weekend, but for some strange reason, I didn't get a chance to edit the video, and I didn't really record anything. I think I was burnt out, and I didn't realize it. And come the Saturday, up to 5 o'clock, I was like, Dread, after 5 o'clock, I did not have a video to put out last weekend. And then it's like, all right, well, this is going to be the first Saturday I'm going to miss dropping a video. And it was the first Saturday I missed publishing a video. And I felt kind of off about it. I still went, and so what would happen is I do have membership on the channel, and I do have a Patreon. So if anybody want to support, they can check out the Patreon or join the membership. Shout out Shirley and shout out Patricia, you know. My two fans going strong on both platforms. But in any event, I had dropped some BTS scenes and some extra videos on the membership, and I said, you know what? Let me release one of them. Let me make it public, meaning that take it out from the membership and open it up to the public on that day. And that's where the drive to Maracas came from, because that would have been done 2023, I believe, or probably last year. Nah, I think that's more 2023. So yeah, so I didn't miss a video posting a video on a Saturday yet. However, I did miss a publish. Now, when I say publish, that means I didn't upload a video. That was a video that was previously uploaded, and I just made it public, whereas it was membership only before. So, yeah. And I mean, so technically I didn't miss a Saturday, you know. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I had some videos in a row that I wanted to get out there, and I wasn't able to do it. And I tell myself, all right, this wrongs, you know, after the 5 years, take my time, do these things. But at the same time, I wanted to drop this video yesterday. Now, this video initially was I was going to have this as part of my Diwali video, right? So every year, for those of you who don't know, the Saturday before Diwali, I will normally drop a temple hopping video. Or, whoa, Tyrese, big up, good night. Yeah. Thanks for, you know, taking some time off and joining the Sunday Vibes live. So normally before Diwali, every year, on the Saturday before Diwali, I will drop a temple hopping video, something related to Diwali, right? And this year I was thinking about to do Hindu festivals throughout the year. And I was thinking to do Krishna Janmashtami, Ganesh Utsav, which just went here this weekend here. Probably talk about Pitri Paksh and probably Naratam before Diwali, right? These are things that the Hindu community celebrate here on the island. And I thought I would do a video on it. But when I went out and for Krishna Janmashtami, which was in August, was the weekend before. Was it the 26th, boy? Oh, Trish, big up. Thanks for joining live. Yeah, so when I went out and I was recording the footage for at the Hare Krishna temple, I was like, wait now, I have enough footage here for a video. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make this into a video. And, well, good thing I did that, because for the Ganesh Utsav period, I didn't really get a chance to go out and capture anything at all. So what I have been realizing, the equipment I have been using kind of getting outdated. Like normally I use a GoPro, and I find it's been overheating and is corrupting some of the files too much. So I'm looking to get a new camera, but again, I'll have to save up to get that. I do have this camera right here that I'm using right now, and this is actual camera. You know, this is the Sony ZV-E10, but I only have one battery with this, so I'll need to probably get a next battery. But you know what? That's nothing for you all to worry about. Eventually, I will upgrade the cameras and everything, because it's be a challenge when you're out there and your cameras start to give problems, right? It's like, or when you come back thinking you capture certain footage and realize the footage corrupted and you can't really use it. It's be real, demotivating. So I realize some of my equipment kind of probably need updating. So I'll be hopefully working on that, on getting some new stuff. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, oh, by the way, again, shout out Trini Surfer, as you mentioned before, and shout out the Mango Melee for having that epic, mango, artisan mango innovation kind of thing. And what happened is because I was live streaming for 2 hours with the phone that is a used phone that I got from my family. The battery is only lasts like a 2 hours, so I know after 2 hours it would have cut off, and it happened just before the mango sucking competition, which was real fun and real vibes. And this year they had a lot of people, and so I was like, you know what? I'll pull out my good old iPhone and stream that vertically because I knew that at any point the Samsung would have died, and that is exactly what happened. So hopefully those of you who are watching the streams switch across to the second stream afterwards, the mango sucking competition. So that was fun. Right. I know right now in Trinidad and Tobago we have dryer. Yep. September. I'm not gonna say CPL is on right now. Shout out Trinbago Night Riders. Don't mind we lost to Guyana yesterday, but we have beaten them and beat the Patriots. So a week before, we lose yesterday by a 1 run in Guyana, and yeah, but they did put up a good fight though. I had to give them credit for that. Speaking of sports, we played Curacao Friday, and we draw. Was it Friday or Saturday, boy? No, it was Friday. Yeah. And we draw. So Jamaica beat. I think they was playing. Who they was playing, boy? Matthias, hello, August. Dread, I gotta change that because I swear I switched this to September vibes. I mean, I'll deal with that afterwards. Thanks for that. Dread, I don't know what happened there. Hey, Itsy Bitsy, welcome to the Sunday Vibes Live. So right now, Jamaica on top of that table, and this is for World Cup qualifying. We are third place, so Curacao is just ahead of us. Don't mind, we have 1 point each. And that's because Curacao just start with C, and Trinidad start with C. So hopefully, we need to win the next 2 games in order for us to really top the table, or at least be second. Because Jamaica could be top in the team, the Reggae Boys. So that's what happened this weekend. And now the next weekend, I have a curry duck video to edit, and that will be dropping next weekend. So for the next 2 videos, it's going to be a curry duck at South Ranch, right? So that's down south. That will be what, Barrackpore side? Yeah, that'll be Barrackpore side, kinda. Between Barrackpore, DB Penal kind of things. South Ranch, I don't know where exactly, how to classify that in terms of the geographical aspect of where it is. It could be DB as the address. I'm not sure how to verify that. But yeah, I'm gonna have a curry duck at South Ranch. Again, shout out Shell Upstream for having me, for hosting me. Spoilers, I was a judge, and I teamed up with Chef Jason Peru, so he will be in that vlog come the next vlog. And also the one after that, I'll be going out with my brethren Raj. Most likely we'll be revisiting Carmelita Fall this time during the rainy season, and also checking out the barrel, which apparently is different from where Carmelita Falls is. It's a little lower down, and yeah. And on top of that, when I'm going out there with Raj, right, he has some news to share, and is more for students in secondary school. School is opening tomorrow here in Trinidad. Oh my gosh, my sinus acting up, right? Forgive me. School is opening tomorrow here in Trinidad and Tobago, and that means traffic. Anyway, yes. So what Raj has, what he will be, sharing in that video is related to secondary school students in terms of SBAs, right? So you can look out for that. So if you are, attending a secondary school, or your kids are going to secondary schools, or your family in secondary schools, like you are secondary school students, I would highly suggest you tune into that video, right? I'll give you all more details on that in that video. So that will be not next weekend. That'll be the weekend after. So after everybody settled down in the first 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks of September normally is being the most hectic week because school now opening, new students are going into these classes, and that is what is really caused the chaos during the first week. But in this case, although a week already went in September, so the next 2 weeks might be a little chaos before things settle, before parents, get into their morning routine with the students who now going to secondary school. Again, big up you all. Take advantage of being in school at this moment. Do your work, study hard, make your friends, enjoy your school life, right? That's all I can say. You might think, oh my gosh, this is too much stress. And so for some people, it might be. But sometimes I would recommend that you enjoy your life as a student. Yeah, I ain't going to say any more on that. So those are the next up and coming videos that are sure going to be out there. I'm also working on a corn soup hopping video because, I should have known this, right? When I dropped the instant Trini food, I asked in the video if you all want me to do corn soup hopping, and it was overwhelmingly yes in the comments. So I am working on that, and also, one more thing that I'm working on that will probably not drop till probably October, I'm not sure yet. Because again, I'm doing this over a period of time, is I'm doing a ramen video. Alright, so, and the concept is cheap to expensive ramen. So, Teresa saying, what are you feeling with your YouTube channel? That's an interesting question. And I'm going to interpret that. I'm not sure if this is the question. What are you feeling about the YouTube channel so far? Well, I have been doing it for over 5 years now, consistently. And I kind of winding down to a degree. I still have some videos that dread, like it's in your blood, it's in your system. After doing something for so long, sometimes it's be hard to step away. And so it would have points where even when I just relaxing or just being normal or doing errands on the outside, like I see something for content and I just go into content creation mode. And these days, surprisingly, I neither hear nor there about it. I find myself getting more like lazy. I don't know if lazy is the proper term, but like I find myself doing other things and not putting in the time and effort that I used to do before. Like I was still putting effort and stuff to do certain videos, like these that I just talk about, but it's just the timing now. So normally I will have a schedule and run with it. I do still have this schedule, but it's always be updating now. And I guess right now I don't know if it's just how sometimes you might have the ebb and flow in the waves, and this one I feel like I ebbing a little bit on YouTube, meaning that more on the downward slope a little bit. You'll have certain weekends or certain times I'll just be on a high, and then you'll have weekends like this week here where are kind of on a low. And again, I didn't want to really mention this, but I just giving you all some updates. When I said this week was a long week, is that I got in an minor accident. Well, not really minor accident because my car basically will be down for a while, right? And because what happened, I was on the road, driving on the road, and our next car pulled out, and by the time I realized he was coming with a speed, I just tried to pull, and he ended up hitting me. So yeah, so that happened like Tuesday, and that kind of threw me off a little bit, but still went and tried to edit this video that I dropped yesterday, and I didn't want to put off that till next weekend. So yeah, so this weekend I more or less was just recovering a little bit to a degree. Like, thank God I didn't get any whiplash. Nobody was really injured and everything and whatnot. So, thank God for that, because there have been some fatal accidents on the roads this past week. That same day that I got into that minor accident, heard that there was a fatal accident further down the road, and it's like, wow. So right now, I think how I'm feeling generally. Well, right now my sinus acting up, so I'm trying to fight it. Um, but overall, I'm probably feeling slight burnt out a little bit. So I think after these two videos and the other videos I mentioned, I might take a little break, and then I'll see how things go and come back. Um, in September, it is my birthday month, so yeah, that's a next thing, and that'll be at the end of the month. So yeah, so if you are celebrating your birthday this month, again, happy birthday. It's gonna be a nice vibes, and yeah, no, oh yeah. So our next thing, up and coming thing that I have planned. Hopefully, I'll get recorded this month. But again, I'm not sure when. All right, because I had to cancel that. Is we have some cocoa farmers in Beach, like some farmers in Beach. Like I was actually organizing to go up and interview and check out and all that. And so that gonna be. I'm hoping to do it sometime. That was scheduled to happen this month, but because my car is currently down right now, I'm not sure when that will happen. So that will be our next up and coming video before the end of the year. Farming in Beach, local chocolate in Rio Claro. I'm hoping to cover that as well sometime before the year finishes. We have real talent here in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm also want to do Fort Abercrombie, and probably I'll finally go out and do La Fiji, a Paramin. So those are some of the other ideas I have for this month. Also was thinking about to do Los Rio. So yeah, we'll see. And the mud volcano in Los Rio, and then probably cover the beach. So those are some other ideas I have for the year, what that are scheduled, that I talk about to try and get done. So we'll see how things go. Again, things get thrown off a little bit this week here, and the past week here. So this up and coming week, I'll have a better idea of like how long my car will be down. So yeah, so that will be a hindrance in a sense. And I don't know, I really want to talk about this, but I think this needs to be mentioned because since we have a new government, today is what the elections was in April, May, June, July, August, September. Basically 5 months in. Budget's supposed to be soon, so we'll see how things go. But the amount of racism I am seeing on social media is astounding, Dread. It's like, wow. So everybody was quiet for like the past 10 years, and then all of a sudden, bam. Now, I was going through Facebook, and again, there's a dude called Tanner Logs, and he blog about it, right? He made a post about it, and I just want to comment something that he said, and I thought it was interesting, right? He said, like, this is respect to racism. Imagine one side accusing the next side of racism while being racist in their comments about the other side. All right? Tread. Oh, Harrison Wells, I have to change that. So, yeah. Oh, big up, big up. It's sad to see, like, from the time, I don't know, we have a change in government for a while. And I know these are a thing that we need to work as Trinbagonians, because the racism is deeply rooted from colonial times, and people would not understand this. And the only way we can really overcome that is to like look past that. Don't jump into how to put that, boy. The most we could do is for our children and the younglings to grow up looking at us as their parents, as their neighbors, as Trinbagonians, and not say, hey, that's an Indian, that's an African, no, that's Chinese. Yes, we could use that to describe people, but that doesn't mean that, we stereotype people and we start degrading people. Like, that is the one part of racism that we should be appalled by, right? Because at the end of the day, we all human, we all bleed the same blood if cut, we all will be hurt emotionally, and everything. And it's sad to see this going on these social media platforms, right? And because that the only thing it'll do is divide us. The only thing that is really unite us is sports. So when Trinidad are playing, that's the only thing that unite us. When TKR are playing, that's probably the only thing that unite us as Trinbagonians. It's just sad to see that going on. Now, at the end of the day, right? I'm not saying those because I guess against any injustice you see, and at the end of the day, we have to hold our government accountable for whatever promises they would have made, during elections, and also what they have done during their time served. Now, they haven't made the first year yet, and people are already bashing them. I mean, for certain parts, all well and good, right? Because there's some questionable judgments or questionable things because they're just focusing on the corruption of the past government, and it's like all well and good, but we need to move on from that, right? And hopefully with the budget, we will see what's going on. We have a forex problem. We have a situation with Venezuela and stuff. So we'll be monitoring that closely as possible. Not going to jump into any of that or get into the details of that, right? But yes, Harrison, I'll each generation, have to be able to cut back on being racism. And most likely, all these comments that is you will be older folks keeping that thing alive. We would hope with the younger generation, we would get rid of that. And at the end of the day, yes. Kittens, I stand corrected, right? I stand corrected because you are right. This has been going on back and forth for not only the past 10 years, but for the past however long, since probably our lifetime, unfortunately. Now, the thing is, kittens, right? No, yeah, you're right. The thing is, like, for the past, let me say the past year or two, you won't have seen it as, like, when I say for the past 10 years, it was there, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is right now. Like, because, I mean, I will be on social media, I will be checking out trends, I'll be looking at stuff that entertaining, and even when the past government was in power, right, you more see, yes, it had the racist comments and everything happening in between, but it wasn't as prevalent, right? And I'll be like one or two trolls that whatever, right? It's only coming down to election time, and this is what we expect. Racism is one tool people could use to divide and conquer in a sense, and yeah, but now it's just much more prevalent and is like, dread. It is a bad example for the young people. There are ways to argue and get your point across and call out the government for whatever actions that you may deem is not the right way and one to go, right? And you don't have to bring racism into this, right? I think that only comes when you have nothing else to argue about, but you just want to argue. Oh, yes, and the next thing I've seen is like, Dread, they have a lot of bots now, much more bots, especially on Instagram, Dread. I was like, what going on here? And for people who don't realize it, like, if you go, yeah, time I was just curious because all of a sudden I just seen a set of people making positive comments, and when you click on them, it always be 3 photos or 4 photos, and then now and a few followers, and it's like, yeah. Now I understand bots. Now bots and trolls have been there from the beginning of the internet, right? And they will always trigger people because right now in this day and age, I think we were talking about this some time ago. Clickbait, when we say clickbait, right, is any bit of controversy or anything that causes people to react is what other people jumping on. Because at the end of the day, they're looking for social media, what is it with currency, right? And social media currency it doesn't matter if it's good stuff or it's bad stuff. And most times people would ready to jump down on something bad. So for some, it's a strategy that some people is use. And it's be most unfortunate because most times you'll be spreading a set of negativity in the world, in the social media environment, and by extension on the outside, right? But my only hope is that we start to ignore these racist people. Now, I ain't saying like I said, everybody would have probably a certain bias in them based on their experience or based on what like their parents would instill on them or whatnot or what they will see. But at the same time, I still think we need to look at each other as people. And if you want to judge based on we actions, because actions speaks louder than words, regardless of color, creed, race, right? And we need to push the national anthem more. Right here, every creed and race find an equal place. Right here in Trinidad and Tobago, or even the motto: "Together we aspire, together we achieve." The only time I really see true unity here in Trinidad and Tobago is when we qualify, when we beat Bahrain 1-0 in the 2006 World Cup. Imagine that. That was almost 20 years ago. Dread. I was in school and we was running out in the road and celebrating, and everybody was honking and everybody was happy and everything. But when it comes to this side, that side, kind of politics, it's annoying to see the kind of, how to put it, the degrade. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we have to understand that, right? The next 5 years going to be rough. And I think it's going to be rough for not only us, but for a lot of other countries in the world. Right now, it's going to be rough for us because we have to watch what's going on between us and Venezuela and the US and Guyana and the other members of CARICOM. But at the end of the day, this is what we need to do all the time, hold our politicians accountable. Right? Sometimes we get fed up and we let certain things slide. That's fine if you want. Once or twice you could let things slide, but at the same time, you can't make that a habit because at the end of the day, we are the ones to suffer. And the only time we could make a difference would come in the next elections, which would be in 2030. We have local elections coming up. That will be 2027. So that could be also a change, and that would have been 2 years of our current government. Well, 2.5 years of our current government would have passed by then. So you could judge based on what is going on. But as Kay Gitton said, this is going to be a rough time, regardless of who was in power. There's a lot of conspiracy things we could talk about, but I'm not going there. That's not the channel of it. This is Trinbago Vibes. We will still continue to push culture, food, positive vibes here, Trinidad and Tobago, people, Trinbagonian stuff. By the way, I also forgot to mention this, and there's also the Orisha Festival happening Rambut Village this month. I just came across it, so I'm hoping to cover that as well. Right, I want to cover that because it's the first time I'm hearing about it, and I'll be excited to go and explore new things happening here in Trinidad and Tobago. So you could look out for that. I just come back to the Trinbago vibe aspect of things. Like I said, I just observe a lot of racism happening. That has been going on, as Gittons reminded me here on the chat previously. So that has been going on since, I would say, colonial times. Because that's the only way you can control all these different type of people, is us versus them kind of thing, instead of, all are we versus the power to be, so to speak, and hold them accountable. That would be the day. But anyway, so we have a few things happening this month. So the next video going to be the curry duck South Ranch. Then I'll have some corn soup popping somewhere in between. I have a ramen, cheap to expensive. Revisiting Carmelita Falls and the Barrel. There's this Orisha festival that I want to cover. It is, I can't pronounce the name right. Let me see, because I have it written down here, boy. I have it somewhere here, but I know it's happening. Okay, so it's happening at Robert Village from, well, it started Friday and is finishing next Saturday. No, it started yesterday and it finishing next Saturday. Robert Village, Tableland. Now, next Saturday, 2 p.m. is the main festival. That one I'm going to capture. They have like a bonfire thing happening as well sometime during the week. So I wouldn't be able to, capture that. But that is the plans for the next month or two. And yeah, in September. Live streams now. Live streaming for this month. Like I said, Sunday Vibes Live. I'll come on board, give some updates on what is happening with the channel. Give you some backstories if any for past videos and everything. And also, well, we'll do it say the second Sunday of every month. If there's one-on-one, like if I need something else to get out there, I will come on board and chat a little bit with you all. But tomorrow is the first week of school, so after here I'll have to go back and try and organize for that. I want to get in a good sleep, so I'm going to sleep early, and I also have to pack and organize a few things because tomorrow I have to get back to waking up much earlier and leaving home earlier to try and beat that traffic. So I'm going to wrap up this Sunday Vibes Live here. Thank you all for joining me. I know, and thanks for the slight discussion on things. Shout out Harrison and K Gittins for the comments in the chat. And yeah, surely it's always been nice to when SHAQ's come in and she's always have a story on something. It'll be amazing to hear. Anyway, so look out for the next video. It is curry duck at South Ranch, and then after that it might be the Carmelita revisit or corn soup. I'm not sure yet, depending on how much corn soup spots I could hit. By the way, right, if you all know a good corn soup spot here in Trinidad and Tobago, let me know. All right, let me know in the comments of this video, or when this video ends, if you're watching it, let me know in the comments below, or I'll post up something on the community tab. So check that out and you can answer there. I think community tab will be easier to check it out. So you all have a great week, have a safe week, have a productive week. Be safe out there. To the younglings who are going back out to school, good luck for this semester. Do your best. Don't give your parents too much trouble, because at the end of the day, I know it sometimes be a struggle on their part to organize and get things ready for school and all these things. Yes, surely corn soup hopping, a staple here in Trinidad. Well, I'm not sure if it's a staple in Trinidad, but it's a thing here, right? So we have that up and coming, and I could do it some of that right now, Dread. I'm not feeling to go to the savannah and probably get corn soup, but no, I have something else to sort out. So you all have a great one, have a productive one, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, I'll go on.